Power steering's broken on this car. Air suspension's broken on this car. Broken axle. Huge project. Because race car part 2 needs aftermarket transmission control units and a clutch pedal. Needs a new transmission. And then we're missing quite a few cars. The Senna is gone, the Mercy and the Squadra Corsa are on the East Coast for a rally. The only thing that's not here that I don't know what's going on with it is the 720 GTR. We're gonna head over to Gintani's right now to go check in on that car because I know you guys love that car. I love that car as well, and I am really dying to know what is going on with the 720 GTR. I'm gonna take the one vehicle that we have that we can always rely on, the Carrera Van GT.
Wait a second, the tags.
Oh, they're expired?
Wait, what month is it?
It's way past February. All right, you know what? I have Dave's credit card, so we're gonna take an Uber Black. Thanks, Dave.
Ooh, fancy. Do what Dave would do.
Anyway.
Do what Dave would do. So you haven't been here before, huh?
I have not, but man, what an upgrade from the Gintani and Van Nuys. A lot of roof height, tons of lifts. He's working on this dyno room back here. Got some cool cars in here already. Yo, Alex, what's up, man?
I'm glad to see you, my friend.
Long time no see, dude.
I'm actually glad to see you. I like
I'm always glad to see you.
I like you. I like this guy. He's so nice. Such a
Alex,
sweet
your watch
guy.
isn't gold today.
Oh, yeah, look at you.
What is this?
It's an AP.
Fancy.
Look,
I don't know what they
50th
are.
anniversary. It's a Casio, bro.
Okay.
Casio,
Got it,
Casio.
got it.
Wait, didn't you have some questions that Dave and
Oh, I got a question.
Oh, yeah.
This is from the boys themselves. How is the family trust doing? Are you out on money?
I'm broke. I got no money left, so we're gonna start a GoFundMe. Family Trust is running dry, dude. Is that a good answer?
I guess.
Are you gonna start my GoFundMe?
No.
Why? You're the one who asked the question, bro.
No. I'm in the middle.
Just
Okay.
tell him to link to your OnlyFans.
My OnlyFans.
It makes a lot of money.
I know. I put
Makes a lot
pictures of my toes, bro.
Yeah. Football. Dude, the new shop looks absolutely amazing. I know it's still like a work in
Oh
progress,
yeah, we're still
obviously, but
doing all the offices and waiting for furniture and trying to finish the showroom and
yeah.
oh my god, it's been a freaking nightmare.
I
but-
see like you've got the
Yeah,
dyno,
the dyno room's all set
over
up.
here.
Yeah, these are the new fans that we just built. This
the
big
cage.
one will go on the front.
Yeah.
It'll have like triple of what the Pro Hub one does.
Yeah.
So
so
that'll
it's a
do.
4-wheel drive dyno.
It's an all-wheel drive dyno. It's all adjustable bed, and
Go
then
check
we
this
have
thing out. I wanna
the
see this, like, this excites me.
yeah. This is
It's automated. That's fancy.
no half-ass. 160,000 CFM going out.
Dude, that's crazy.
And if you try to go to the showroom and try to open the front door,
It's vacuum
you
shut?
can't even open it, bro. you can't open it. It's just like, oh shit! It finally opens. And we're putting like an adjustable scissor lift underneath it, so if we get any tall cars, we can lift it up and put it back down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then now that front one should do about 190 miles per hour, so it'll mimic us doing 190 mile per hour pulls on the street.
Huge improvement over your old shop in Van Nuys, dude. Yeah.
We got some big things coming next door to speed up our production for exhaust systems and stuff like that. So.
Oh, cool. That's right. There's some other stuff that I want to take a look at. This car's right in front of us now. The 720 GTR, and that's why we're here today.
Exactly.
I know I've had it for maybe like a week now.
I've had it for like a week now.
Yeah. So what do you?
I mean, we've been extremely busy here, so it's been like on and off, but
Yeah.
like the first thing I wanted to do is just let it sit for a little bit, and we turn it on every day and just let it run and basically just try to cycle all that oil that was built up in the turbos out of it.
Yep.
And then try to still get that watered down E85, even though you guys put E85 in here.
Yeah, it
there's
wasn't
still
flushed out
Yeah, it wasn't
before.
flushed out.
Yeah.
So basically we've been starting it. I drove it around in the parking lot a few times, just making sure it doesn't smoke.
so it's not smoking anymore.
Right now, it's
Right
not
now.
smoking. It's not smoking right now. What we're gonna do right now is Carlos is actually working on putting all the tanks and everything back inside.
Oh, yeah, back in the front.
He's gonna start putting all this stuff in, replumbing it because a bunch of the
Everything
plumbing's-
got taken apart.
Everything's apart.
Yeah.
There's some stuff missing, so
Yep.
we got to redo all that stuff. And then once we do that, we're actually gonna put it on the lift. And the first thing I'm gonna do is I gotta check the oil feeds, check the restrictors and everything on there, which I'm pretty sure it's fine. I also want to check the drain lines, make sure there's nothing kinked or anything like that.
Yep.
The problem is with this car is as bad as we want to do a leak down in a compression calibration test.
It's hard. Everything's hard to get
It's not like a 2-hour process on this
Yeah.
car, dude. It's like more of a 2-day process, especially with the fact of having the center seats in there, having the cage in there, having this, having that. You know how it is.
Yeah.
If we want to get any of the guys in the back, we literally have to pull everything
All
out,
the
and then
interior.
one of the guys has to be in the back, literally hunched over, sitting inside the car, trying to get it to all that stuff. So what we're gonna do first is put it on the lift, make sure we don't have any kinks and stuff like that in the oil lines, make sure everything is okay that way.
It is like a really weird problem that we have right
It is.
now, right?
I think I know what it is, but
It still guesses at this point.
it still
right?
guesses at this point. And
Yeah.
another thing is, I still think there's a bunch of stuff left in there that hasn't burned out. Because you guys got to understand, like, I know you understand, but like, one thing is clearing out the turbos.
Yeah.
Another thing is how much oil is in that intake manifold.
Yeah, exactly. And that's something weird, right? So I think the first time it smoked, Tim, was like when they started it up at Creative Bespoke,
yeah,
right?
there.
Yeah. So it sat for a while. So basically the car was running without the bodywork, seemed to be running okay, but obviously that had still been sitting for a year
Yeah.
from when it got crashed, right? Because I mean, the back corner on the car was ripped off. It went through insurance, and then they finally gave them the money for the car. They gave them the car back, and then it sat for a while longer. And then we got all the suspension, we put it all back together. So yeah, it was probably a year
I mean,
of
bro,
downtime with the E85 in it.
E85 and a turbo car and
Yeah.
a McLaren that already has, like, you know, drain issues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's not normal that when they started this car it was smoking like that. Before it got there, Damon had fun throwing some serious flames out of this thing.
Every time he
So,
starts this car, he
yeah.
has fun
Yeah.
shooting flames
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
It is literally the flamethrower.
He thinks he's got Godzilla and stuff. You know, it's like a button for him to just press and just go crazy.
We just need
So,
to put like a propane tank in there
seriously.
and then just have it shoot propane flames.
Yeah, instead of
and
letting
then idle. We got the car running again, and then it was like, all right, time for the body kit.
Dude, I watched this car getting built. It was no joke.
Dude, I can only imagine how much work went into it. I just tried to fit like one of these on the door. And
Oh, when you guys had it.
when we had it,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Dave was like, yo, we got the body kit. It's a 3-day install. Let's do it in-house. And I'm like, I've never done a 3-day install on a body kit, unless it's like a factory race car where everything fits perfectly, like a Porsche, right? Where every panel is perfect and you just put them on.
Yeah.
This was not that. All right, I'm ordering some tux mats for Damon's Huracan right now. Boom, ordered. Woo, that was fast. Let's get these unboxed and installed in the car. Wow, these things look really good. Super durable. They've got that nice rubber pad down where your heels go. Man, these things fit so well. It covers everything. It's all the way up to the sides. It's the entire floorboard and up the sides and all the way back down to the seat, the sides, everything. I'm really impressed with this. It is probably the best fitting floor mats that I've ever seen. Not only do the tux mats look great, but they also fit phenomenally. They use the factory snaps, all the factory contours of the floorboard. They fit like a glove. Right out of the box, I could tell how durable and how well made these tux mats are. They're gonna last a long, long time and protect your interior. If you have any issues or if you need help finding the right mats for your car, they have absolutely amazing customer service. So don't hesitate, they stand by their product. Click the link in the description below and go get yourself a set of tux mats.
I think Shi's got over 1,100 hours into this thing.
I believe it. It was an insane amount of work to make it fit.
Dude, when I was there last time, they literally had cut this in sections to be able to
yeah.
widen it and make it closer on some other side so it could actually fit.
Yeah.
They literally recreated the whole body kit.
Yeah.
It was a lot of work, and it came out sick.
It looks amazing.
I think
now.
it looks amazing.
When they started it up after the body kit was all done, I don't think they started it at all when they were working on the kit.
No, they didn't. They were pushing this thing around.
Yeah, exactly. So it basically sat there for months.
Yeah.
And then they started it up, and then it apparently was smoking like crazy. I wasn't there.
I was on FaceTime.
Okay.
yeah.
Nice. And then it seemed to clear up, but they drove it, right? They drove it back and forth, like down the street
Yeah,
or
dude,
something.
you know how long, bro? Come on. How many turbos have you blown in your life?
Actually, only a couple.
Yeah, the way you drive?
Couple.
Okay.
Couple, 4, 6.
Okay, 6.
And 8.
Okay, and
I don't know, a lot.
And what happens when you have a turbo leaking into everything? How long does it take to clear that shit? How long do you have to drive
forever.
a car?
So in my drift car,
Yo! Hey! Stop with the Cabron! Camera, pendejo! Take it down! Jesus Christ, bro. Sorry about that. Back to where we were.
But yeah, in my drift car, I have like a lift pump for the turbo drain. We put the engine back in one time, and I think the plug didn't get clicked all the way together.
Oh, dude,
Just
that's a
started
bad
up.
day.
It ran for like 5 minutes, no problem, and then it started smoking.
Yeah.
And then it was literally spitting oil out of the exhaust like this
Yeah,
car,
yeah.
right? And then I think we had to run it, and not just idle it, because it's
No,
not
no.
hot enough to burn off the oil.
No, no way.
So I had to run it at like 4,000 RPM. It's never even gone forever, right? It's coated the entire exhaust
it's
system.
never gone.
Everything
And
is like-
especially if your exhaust has any kind of hacking in there,
Oh, yeah,
you're
it's-
done,
it's-
bro.
it's
Throw it
inside
away.
of
Yeah,
everything.
it's done. The first thing I want to do is make sure that we don't have a sticking injector. 'Cause
Yeah.
you know what happens to the E85 after it sits?
Yep.
Turns into like goo, basically.
Yep.
So if one of those injectors are, pulsing and actually it gets stuck at a point,
Yeah.
that's a big problem.
Yeah, it can be dripping and not
it could
opening
be,
all the way.
It could be
Both.
dripping and not opening all
Yeah.
the way. And the only way to even test that in this car is to pull the rail
Yeah.
and pressurize the rail and see if it's going to leak out.
Yeah.
But obviously, just to do that in this car is a nightmare. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
So what do you think? Like first steps to start figuring out what's going on with
first steps, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all that stuff in, get it cleaned up, look at the drains, look at the feed, make
Yeah.
sure there's nothing going on over there. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to grab it, I'm going to put it on the dyno because I'm not driving this thing on the street.
Yeah.
And we can't drive it on the street anyway. So I'm gonna
Plus
put
you'll
it
be
on-
able to do all the data
Yeah,
logging.
yeah. On the dyno, then we'll see how bad it's smoking. If there's oil, accumulating in the back, it's easier for us to see. I'm not
Yep.
going to put somebody behind the car running
Yeah,
after
is
me.
it smoking? Yeah.
So we're not going to do that. So we'll put it on the dyno. We'll run it on the dyno. I'll run it hard on the dyno so we could get it hot and try to burn off all the that was left in there for the past year.
Yep.
And then we'll see how far it goes from that. But again, still, I want to do spark plugs. I want to still pull the injectors out and make sure nothing's sticking.
Yep.
And then obviously when we get to that point, we're going to do a leak down the compression. I don't think the motor's hurt in any way from power or anything like that. There's no way. This
Yeah.
motor's overbuilt for what it's already making power-wise.
Yeah.
But you just never know. If you got a bad ring land or if you got something like that, head gasket that's lifted or something like that, we don't know that, bro.
If it overheated.
Yeah, exactly.
At any point.
Exactly.
Right. You could have a head warped and the gasket could be barely sealing.
Exactly.
But then it gets hot and it starts to warp a bit more.
One of my thoughts about this car and what's going on is when he's sitting there revving it like that, I think it just loses the vacuum and it's not enough to be able to pull it back into the sump. So it's basically boiling over into the turbos, and then when it gets to that point, I mean, this car comes with journal bearing turbos from factory. We have ball bearing turbos on this thing. So obviously the journal bearing turbo feed lines and stuff like that, they're a lot bigger.
Yes.
We try to reduce it. Usually
You have like a little
yeah, we do, but sometimes on these cars, because they make such high oil pressure, not only do we put reducers in them, we have a valve that we make that basically cuts the pressure.
Flow control valve.
Flow control valve. So this car doesn't have that. But the thing is, not a lot of people are sitting there revving the out of this thing like that. You know what I mean? So it's possible that we're overcoming how much oil is supposed to go into these turbos, and it's just way too much. And it's literally at that point revving. It comes to a point where it can't drain it back in, and then it starts going into the exhaust side housing, and it goes into the intake.
So basically, the oil
it gets backed up, bro. It can't go anywhere.
Yeah, so the oil is filling up in the tubes, filling up,
filling up,
and then it gets to the point where it's pushing oil.
Yeah, and then you get that big cloud of smoke. And the second that happens, I don't care if you shut the car off, what you do, what happens? That oil stays in that turbo, it cooks. Okay, and then it's just sitting in there filmed inside the hot side. And then when you go start it, in the beginning, it might throw a puff of smoke, and then it might not smoke for a good 10 minutes. And then once it gets to a certain temperature, boom, it's
then
back
that
out
oil
boiling
ignites.
that oil. So it's just gonna start sitting there and smoking and smoking and smoking. So it's all the stuff we gotta look at on this thing.
That's probably like best case scenario, right? With it just being a turbo line
that would be
or
great.
something like that. Be a fairly easy fix.
Yeah,
But
well, nobody wants to pull the motor out of this thing.
so basically, to do anything else on this car, you got to pull the motor out.
Dude,
of it.
it's not even worth our time to do it with any other way. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever we have to work on one of these and we got to do like compression tests or do anything with valve covers or injectors or anything like that, like these guys are hunched over in the back, bro. They can't
So
walk.
you actually have to get to it from.
You literally need to open the door. First of all, there's a cage in this car. There's a roller. So how are you gonna get back there? The whole space is right here. That's the only access point you have in this car. Is this back panel. So in order to get in and even look at anything on this car, where are you gonna put your knees and go over on the seat? You can't,
No,
bro. Your head won't even fit in between the two seats, you know?
Yeah.
So seats gotta come out, roll bars gotta come out, this has to come out, and then basically you have a guy in there wearing his socks.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
No shoes on.
Crawling
trying
around
to
in there.
Climb in there and trying to
Yeah.
get to whatever he can. And you know what? How long can you sit in a car like that, bro?
Me, like 5 minutes.
Yeah, there's no way. Your
back's-
back is
my back's
your
old.
back is gone.
I've been doing this for too many years.
Yeah, we're all old, bro.
Yeah, dude.
So, I mean, the best way to do it, honestly, after we do the small checks, is literally don't even waste time. Open that back, have them disconnect the harnesses, which will take them a little bit of time. At least they're not stuck in there for hours.
Yeah.
Drop the subframe, bro. This thing it's easier to drop this thing and work on it than it is to try to even attempt to do something when it's in the car.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same thing with a Porsche.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
try to work on a Turbo
I'm
S or a GT.
completely- yeah,
like
that's-
bro, it's like if somebody tells
hey,
us
you
to
wanna
do a
change
trans
the
on it, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, should we fish? Bro, just hit the thing, drop it to the floor,
yeah.
do your thing, stick it back in there.
Yeah.
Like it's not even worth it. That's what it's gonna end up being if we can't fix it with what I want to do.
But to pull the motor out, you have to take some body panels off this thing too, right?
We're probably gonna have to if we can't get to everything. Yeah, I mean,
That's-
we've gotten pretty good at pulling motors out of these things, so.
But this, because of this body kit, makes it like
Oh, it's
way
it's
more
hell.
difficult
Yeah.
to do.
I don't know what we're gonna do. This is not a stock body car anymore.
Yeah.
So it's a learning curve all over again. I'll be calling Cy and the guys over there a couple times, like, hey,
Hey, how did you bolt this
Yeah.
on? Where are the bolts
yeah,
for this
if I
thing?
take this out, does the whole car fall apart, or what happens?
Yeah.
Plus, you got to be careful with all this stuff. You know
Oh,
what
I mean, how much time and effort and money
Yeah.
that was put into this
a lot.
is
So you gotta literally work like you're working in a science lab. So
Yeah,
it's so much stuff, bro. I mean, look at how many screws there are just back here.
there were so many individual panels on this car
Yeah,
that
Yeah,
all
it's
have to
insane.
be, and it's probably like
The problem is not taking it off.
it's putting it back together.
Putting it back together is
Yeah.
the problem.
and figuring
Because
out like
nothing's ever gonna line up.
Right?
That's why I'm gonna have to fly those guys out and be like, hey, bro, you come put your back together. I'm not gonna put this back together. So we could take it apart, no problem. Putting it back together, Dave, Damon, I don't promise you nothing on that.
I think
But
that would
it should
fall
be-
in your
it should-
hands,
it should-
huh?
it should be
No,
pretty-
I'm not-
it's not. That's not his responsibility. We're not body men,
body,
bro.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, we're body men, but we're not like body men. You know what I mean?
I get you.
We don't work on that.
You got that, Tim?
I got it.
Tim's
We could have Tim line it up.
I did cut some panels already, so
did, huh?
I'll do it again.
Who fixed your car when you put it in the wall?
What? What wall? It was a door.
It was mostly the wall that got you, though. the door was okay. If it isn't a turbo drain line or an oil feed issue,
He loves this.
I love it. I want to know how much
Love it. Look
work
at
you
your
have
smile,
to do.
bro.
Because it's not on
It's not him, so he's like, so it's not a turbo drain line.
So telling me that that's a problem. But
What's the real problem? What do you mean?
is-
What if it is?
if it
We're
is, if
screwed,
it is,
bro. What do
like,
you
right?
mean? Yeah, we're screwed.
this is a built race motor.
Yeah.
So everything in here is custom.
Yes. So everything has to come apart, and we got to redo everything. Which hopefully it's not the case.
I know.
Okay.
But I've got to tell Damon what the possibilities are.
Yeah,
And
I'm
if
gonna
I
let
just
you do
tell
that.
him-
I'm just gonna text you and be like,
Yeah.
head gasket, pistons, rods, bearings. Might as well just buy a motor. Forget it. Just you send it to him. I'm not doing
That's
it.
why I got to tell
And
him.
I'll give you the timeline too.
Yeah.
You could tell him it's gonna take like 6 months.
6 months. Hey Damon,
see his
so I know
face?
you've been waiting
He's like,
for this car for a year and a half to get done,
Well,
and it's
we-
done, but actually it's not done yet.
We got
So what
another
we're gonna
6
have to do
months.
now, pull the engine out, spend another $100,000, rebuild this thing, and then it'll be like it was before.
Hey man, it's not my fault.
I know, man. You saw the license plate, right?
yeah, it does, yeah.
It's a McCarran.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to be with a Karen, you got to deal with her problems, right?
That's
So
right.
you got to deal with her problems, Damon. But no, if that's the case, then obviously once we get it on the dyno after checking everything and we see it's still having a problem, first things first, we're pulling the motor out. Second, we pull the motor out, we do a compression leak down.
Yep.
You know how it goes, bro.
Yep.
Test the injectors, test this, test that, and then
Check.
luckily enough that me and Marco have put in so much money into these goddamn motors that we probably have like 20 sets of rods, 20 sets of pistons, 15 sets of cranks, heads,
Yeah.
whatever you could possibly imagine. I mean, we had King Bearing make like 2,000 pieces of
Bearing
bearings
shells.
because
Yeah.
you can't buy them.
Yeah.
So thank God we have all the parts.
Yeah.
So
So that's why it's only 6 months then, because
yeah,
you have all
if
the
it
parts.
wasn't, I mean, if we didn't have all the parts, it would take at least a year. And a half.
Well, it's 6 months just to have somebody custom make parts.
Of course, by
Yeah.
the time we draw it, by the time we take a measurement,
Yeah.
make sure it's good, and then you get one, you make it, doesn't fit. You got to take it all apart again.
Hopefully
put it
that
back.
doesn't happen.
No, none of that. But I mean, as you can see, it's pretty packed in here. We got a couple big projects that's going on, and we got to get
Which
them out.
is something I wanted to talk to you about.
Oh.
Yeah.
Something I saw over there, the blue one.
Yeah, what about it?
What about it? What do you mean, what about it?
Oh, the intake manifold and stuff?
What about it?
It's got turbos on it.
Tell me a little bit about this, because I've heard about it, but I haven't seen this kit that you guys have spent quite a lot of time developing.
Yeah, this one is actually kind of apart right now because we had to actually make a custom rear section for the cars that size building. So he's doing 2 wide body Duke cars. This is like the rear section that we just built for it.
That's
to
sick.
move it up top and make the wastegates and everything flow. We have like a mock-up intake manifold on it right now. So that's our full billet air to liquid integrated intake manifold.
Yeah.
All the runners underneath are all billet. You can see it on the rack over there. There's one sitting right there.
Yeah, I see it up there. Yeah.
So this car is getting all of this, but this car is going to be a stage 1 car.
So not built motor.
Not built motor. It'll be on like 7 pounds of boost.
Okay.
It'll make like 1100 wheel.
Well, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Nothing big.
Yeah, just real, you know, just 1100.
1100 wheel, all factory ECU, no additional stuff, just plug and play. 4 of them we're doing like that right now.
5, you mean?
5 with Damon's car.
Damon's car.
Yeah, but
so throw that
Damon
in
now
there.
all of a sudden wants a built motor, and he wants this, and he wants that, and he wants it done in 2 weeks.
It's DDE, so would you expect
And in
anything
2
less,
weeks, in
right?
2 weeks, right?
Yeah, well, and what's the power on that stage 2, or how many stages is it? Stage 2, stage 3?
We have a stage 1, which is all, bolt-on, factory ECU, pump gas.
Yep.
And then from there, we have a stage 1 plus, basically. That comes with fuel system, flex fuel, E85, pump gas, and then it has our secondary controller to control all that stuff.
Okay.
So that one will make like close to 1400 to the tire on fully 85. And then from there, we have our stage 3, which is built motor.
Wait, you skipped 2.
No, I didn't.
Wait, what
It
was
was 1 plus.
Sorry,
It was
1
one
plus stage
and then-
2. Sorry. these stage things, I hate them, bro. Because everybody like wants something different. So at the end of the day, like it's like stage, I don't know what, bro.
Dude, I did see somebody.
Was that a 10 mil?
Yeah.
That's how they get lost.
Yeah.
But I saw somebody before at a car show, like talking to somebody else, right? And I'm listening to this conversation, and the guy's like, "Yeah, bro. So I got a stage 2 clutch, and I got a stage 3 this," and he was like, "Yeah, so it's like a stage 10 car." Bro,
You just added together? That's
Yeah,
what it was?
together.
Yeah,
and
if
I was
I
like-
continue talking, it's gonna be like stage 20, bro. So whatever, stage 1 and stage 1.5
right, let's get to the
is
top stage.
basically
What's
whatever.
what's
so and
the-
then we
the
have
bad boy stage.
and then we have our built motor stuff, which obviously that makes about like 1700 horsepower. And then the only problem with that is when you get to that horsepower level, like we found out with the car we built in New York,
Yeah.
that's when you start shredding gears. We literally chewed out third gear on that car.
Yeah.
My main focus for this car was no matter how much power we make, I just want to make sure the car drives almost stock. So yeah, you could put a tilt and clutch in here, but you know how it's going to drive.
Yeah.
So it's been really, really hard for us to build a clutch that will drive as smooth as a stock car and actually be able to hold the power.
And that's a real challenge, because this thing is basically an E-clutch,
Yeah,
right?
it's an E-gear.
So it's controlled by the computer.
Exactly.
So if you put a clutch that has different pressure or different disengagement points,
if your pivot point is off by
anything,
a,
right?
a hair,
Yeah, because it's got a sensor that sees the travel too,
instantly
right?
made a triple disc carbon clutch, and then it was made to hold like 1250. We made 1700. After that was done, we saw the problem. He shredded third gear, so now we have our brand new clutch, which is a quad disc, full carbon.
Yeah.
And with the carbon stuff and the way that we get it made, the discs are actually really big. The thing is, like, as an example, like this guy, he started off with a stage 1 kit, right? He's not gonna stop there.
Yeah.
We already know that. He already knows that. So it's gonna go back to him for the summer. He's gonna play with it
Yeah.
a little bit, and the second summer is done, the car's coming back and getting rebuilt. So I don't believe in selling a customer a kit where they need to constantly upgrade stuff. you
Yeah.
know? The way we build these kits, even a stage 1 kit is good for 3,000 horsepower cooling. The turbos are good for 2,000 horsepower.
Yeah.
So I don't like where I have to sell a customer a kit, and then the guy's like, I want to upgrade my stuff, and then you're like, look
Well,
at him and
you're
like,
gonna start all over
okay, you
again.
need new intercoolers, you need new turbos, you need new this, you need new that. It's just not fair. So we overbuild. So So you know,
Future-proof 'em.
Yeah, for future-proof them. So
Yep.
the clutch is really good. It's been driving unbelievable. It's smooth as hell. I mean, people who have gone in the car with me are shocked on how good it drives.
Yeah.
So we're good to go. This thing will be bolted up together soon. Damon's not wanting to do rods and pistons in this car just to make crazy power. He just wants longevity. He wants to make
Exactly.
sure that it's strong enough
it's
to be able.
overbuilt.
It's overbuilt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we build these motors, you know, our stage 2 motor is built for like 2,000 plus.
Yep.
So when you build a 2,000 plus horsepower motor and you're only giving it 1,400 horsepower, that motor should last forever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As long as it's taken care of.
Damon's gonna crank it up. So
Yeah, yeah.
he'll
But-
say,
Yeah.
but then he's gonna drive
I know
the
what's-
wheels
I-
off the
I know
car.
what's coming, bro.
You already know.
I know.
You
what's
already know.
coming. We got our 992 here. You can see the 3D printed intake manifold.
Yeah.
So that's our new intake manifold. It's going to be all, that's obviously plastic plastic printed right
Just
now because we're
test
just
fit
for
everything.
test fitting.
Yeah.
These will all be aluminum printed, 3D printed.
Okay.
We should have the first one hopefully by next week or the week after. So we did extra, 6 additional injectors so we could do flex fuel and
Yeah.
all that stuff. We're actually gonna throw our stage 1 twin turbo kit on the R8 on the road race car. Yeah. So I mean, everybody takes the cars out and they do half mile, quarter mile, and 60 to 130 hits.
Yeah.
We want to put our kit to the test and see how it could do on the track.
Yeah.
On a road course. I mean, obviously we don't need to make crazy power. It's a real wheel drive car on slicks. Try to, make close to maybe like 800 wheel, which is a joke for this car to
Yeah.
make, for this motor.
Yeah.
We're gonna have my buddy, I don't know if you know Jeff Westfall.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jeff's gonna
He's
go
a-
out
he's a
there.
good driver.
Yeah, Jeff used to drive this car actually. We want to turbo it and then we're gonna grab Jeff, throw it in there, go take it to Laguna Seca and see what he could do.
Oh, wow.
So go
That's
do
gonna be
Laguna
sick.
Seca, go do a couple things and see what,
Yeah.
what lap times we could put down and show how efficient the kit is. Because everybody thinks, oh, a twin turbo kit can't be daily driven. No, like Damon always says, there's nothing better than a supercharger kit on a Huracan. You have to do stuff a certain way and
Yep.
it could work perfectly.
Yep.
So
I'm a
that's-
big turbo guy.
I'm a big turbo guy
Yeah.
too. So I think if it's done right, if it's sized right, if it's heat shielded right, and everything is the right package, you
Yep.
could daily drive, you could track, you could do whatever you want with a turbo kit.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's my goal, and that's to prove it to everybody that you could do it. So that's what's gonna happen with this thing. We'll have some fun. I'll let you drive it when it goes out too, and
Hell yeah.
you could beat the shit out of it, and that's it.
I'm not gonna pass up that deal.
No, you could take it anytime. I don't care.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have your 812 still outside. I thought you sold that car.
The 812 is supposed to be going aside. In the last few days, my dad's been catching feelings.
Seller's remorse. He doesn't.
At 72 years old, he's like having withdrawals and thinking about, do I really want to sell this thing or not? So we've kind of pulled back on it. He wants to buy a freaking Aston Martin, and I'm like, dude, it's because the Ferrari's so freaking loud. And I'm like,
Well, that's
Dad,
because
dude,
of your
it's
exhaust.
because of my ass. And I'm like, dude, we could like tame it down a little bit, you know what I mean? And you could enjoy it, but I mean, I think now that he sees that the car's about to get paid for and get out of here,
Yeah.
he's getting sad. So
I mean, I don't blame him. I love this car.
I don't want this car to leave, bro. I love this car.
It's
I
so
mean,
it's so sick.
it's so comfortable.
And out of all of like the more modern Ferraris, I feel like this one, it's front engine V12. It sounds amazing and it looks really good. All the newer Ferraris, I'm a little bit on the fence of.
Excuse my language,
the
but
styling.
every new Ferrari except for this and a Pista is a bitch.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
All other Ferraris they're not doing it for me.
exactly.
This thing, just like you said, front engine, big, comfortable, screams.
Yeah.
It like wants to kill you.
Yeah.
And that's a Ferrari, bro.
Exactly.
You know, that's what's fun. And I love this thing, but let's see what happens with it.
One more question before we leave.
The hardest one.
Oh my God, who are you, bro? What you guys do to this guy, bro? This is horrible.
So I have a question for
Hey,
you.
the new Dave?
And I've been, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, let's see.
Basically.
Okay.
So when can we drop off the SVJ and how long is it going to be here? Because Gumball's coming up really soon.
Yeah. Damon hit me with that yesterday.
Yeah.
So
he sent me here to get an answer.
yeah, we're trying
I'm the
to
enforcer.
we're trying to talk to the guys and see. First of all, if I tell you guys that car is going to be done before the cars that are on the lift, I'm going to get my head chopped off by
Well, don't
everybody
don't
sitting
say.
there.
But just don't say it.
Yeah. Hold on. Okay. All right, we're good.
Go ahead.
No, the biggest problem with the SVJ is the transmission. Before I could even sit here and tell you guys how fast it's going to be to put it together with a turbo kit or even a built motor or whatever it is, we got to take that transmission apart because people have looked at it. Damon and Dave have spent a bunch of
lot
money
of
on
money.
trying to get it fixed.
Yeah.
And the last person they took it to said it's the Teflon seals that
Yeah.
seal the oil inside, and
So it's
got
basically
an
like,
internal
it's like
leak.
pistons that are moving and they have seals. to-
Basically, and then they get an internal leak. Now, the SVJ, I don't know how many miles it has on it now, but
60,000 kilometers.
something like that.
Yeah.
40,000
40,000
Yeah,
miles.
so I mean, it's
Yeah.
basically there for that to
30,000
happen.
miles.
So since we're making the gear sets and everything, we've taken apart 2 of these transmissions already, and we already have everything sourced.
Yeah.
So it'll be pretty quick for us to take it apart and try to see what's wrong with it. But sometimes you know, with these cars, try to get one stupid simple seal could take up to 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, so you don't have them in stock.
The thing is, it's just a Teflon seal. So even if we don't have it in stock from Lamborghini, we could obviously just
Source it from another
source it or even make it.
Yep.
It's not a big deal. You
Yeah.
know, we have CNC machines, we got all that stuff to be able to do it. But
Yeah.
I mean, trying to get that car done in 4 weeks, 5 weeks,
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
I thought it was 2.
Yeah, 3 weeks. Yeah. So I don't.
So it's got to go on a ship and gets sent over, I think, to Singapore, and then another ship. Then it goes to Thailand, I think. So
I'm gonna put you on that ship and send you over.
I like sailing.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna enjoy
Sailor.
it.
I'll be gone for 3 weeks, guys. I'll be in the middle of the ocean.
Guy.
So we'll bring the car tomorrow.
Okay.
Friday, you'll let us know that it's done.
Are you
It's
really
ready to
bringing the
come
car
pick it up.
tomorrow?
Okay.
My life.
It's got to get done.
Listen to me. Listen. It ain't no joke, okay? It ain't gonna take 3 weeks to do this. I promise you, when we do it, it will be done right. This guy right here knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I know, but I'm not doing it. You're doing it.
Yeah, bro, screw this. This is done. This episode's finished. I'm out, man. That's it.